Hey guys, Review here, and I'm so excited to see Captain America play Buzz Lightyear. But in the meantime, we have this Mattel 12-inch figure to customize. So let's do a quick review. My first impression? Very impressive. I compared it with some pictures of the statue at Pixar, and I really think this is a very close replica. The suit, I mean, not the lackluster paintwork, nor this garbage of a head sculpt. Articulation wise, again, thoroughly impressed. There are no visible screws at all. Like wow, intricately engineered to articulate without screws, yet not compromising on any movements. The head can rotate left, right, up, down, with a static neck and a very ugly seam. Plus it's missing the purple neck piece. 360 shoulder rotation, outwards rotation, 90 degrees elbow bend, slight swivel, 360 wrist rotation, waist rotation. The legs can move up, knees can bend 90 degrees, that's it. Paint job wise, it's lacking a lot of colors, especially at the lower half of the figure. It's totally empty. It's like buying a coloring book in the shape of a Lightyear figure. There are also a lot of missing details, like missing images, some wordings here and there. Some are so tiny that I don't even know if it's worth my time. We shall see how good of a mood I am at that time. But for a toy that's only 13 bucks on Amazon, it's not bad.
It's easy to say, oh, I'm gonna repaint it,
But how? We need to know where to paint and what to paint. So with the help of the reference photos of the statue, I did a quick mock-up of the color scheme on Photoshop to help me visualize the missing pieces, and I'm already feeling a lot more confident. I'm going to remove the head before painting because it's an interference, and also it is desperately in need of a makeover. Just like any ball jointed figures, a little heat will help soften the joints and allow for an easier removal. I wasn't planning on it, but OCD kicked in and I started messing around with the hair to try and make it look more natural. I tried to dig it, trim it. Oh, by the way, I replaced my Chinese snip snap with a Japanese one, which is significantly more expensive because it's just not worth risking another metal piece chipping off and flying into my face. Anyway, I was really naive, thinking I could cut my way out of this, because even though we achieved some nice hair strands, the whole thing is just too messy without defined lines. So I ended up cutting the whole thing away to make way for some clay, which was too stubborn to stay in place, so I dug out our old friend. 2-part epoxy sculpt. Since we are going to do some manual sculpting, we might as well get rid of these extremely off-putting eyebrows. What is this expression? I don't get it. As always, we can never seem to avoid sanding. I'm just gonna suck it and sand it with the occasional help of Snip Snap Sun. And we have Browlers Lightyear. Round 2 and done. Someone in the comments told me to wear gloves when working with epoxy sculpt. Clearly, I do not know how to wear gloves. Oh, look at how old this is. It does not look like this when I first bought it. Whatever, it still works. Just 2 parts of the same size, mix them well, and off we go. Referring to some posters of Lightyear, I want a clear separation of the hair clumps with a small curl in front. Adding water to make it easier to work with, giving it some clear definition to the hair strands, making sure Lightyear has his curl, and we can work on the eyebrows. Absolutely no nonsense here. We're not gonna do the eyebrows one up and one down, just gonna leave it at the same height so that he doesn't look like a pervert trying to undress you with his eyes. And we have to wait 6 hours for it to harden. The neck is another problematic piece we have to fix. With him unmasked without his purple board cap, it doesn't mean he has a completely bare neck. There's still some purple there, and that's what we're going to fix. I'm adding a kind of barrier at this opening with clay, building it up like a brick wall, and once it's hardened with a heat gun, I'm going to add UV resin in to bulk it up and cover the gaps. Now some UV light, some more resin, adjusting with a toothpick, and more UV light, more resin, and I think it's pretty much there. Using the leftover epoxy sculpt clay from before, I added a thin border across his neck to act as his collar, and let's prepare for the repaint. There are some things that I want to fix, like the paint spillovers. Great job, Mattel. Just some alcohol for rubbing, not for drinking yet. That's gonna be for when we paint this, because it's such a pain in the ass. The space logo is crap. It's going away with a few rubs. This badge is too big, it has to go as well. But somehow the alcohol is taking a little bit too long, so I just went ahead and sent it off. Easy peasy, Lightyear's PP. Okay, let's paint. It started off pretty satisfying, try to fill in the colors, but there are so much missing paint all over the suit. It's such a headache. And you have to do it twice for both sides. So much work. For the neck, I was too anxious to get it over and done with. I guess I didn't cure it properly, so we have to leave the torch there for a bit. Yup, it's hardened. Back to the purple. For the green, it's a mixture of Kelly green and grass green, if anybody wanna know. I specifically bought new paints because I was using transparent paint for Slinky and it took way too long. But opaque paints seem to also require a few layers, unfortunately, and my head is starting to spin. There's still a lot of brush marks, but they should be gone after a few more layers. Ugh. You might think it's over after the feet are done, but you'd be surprised. The belt thing, they just left it half done so that we can get an opportunity to fill in the blanks. How nice of you, Mattel. The insides of the arm guards as well, and the wrist guard. Finally, some grey. I know, white, grey, what's the difference? It's so subtle, but it gives such a nice contrast to the overall look, and you should not skip it if you are repainting as well. But it's particularly painful because it's between a lot of crevices, so you have to be careful, and there are a lot of greys, like a lot. I'm gonna need a break. Back to the computer to make some decals. If you think you can just paint on the words, you can't. Don't kid yourself. The best way is to make water slide decals digitally with reference to the statue. At first, I just took the image and make it as flat and straight as possible, but like I said, don't kid yourself. It just makes sense that they used an existing font, so I went to a website called What the Font, nice, uploaded an image of the font and it just spat out all the possible fonts. Euro Style Unicase Pro Regular, just Google it, download, install, and there we go. After scaling it, it seems like some of the words, like those on the buttons, would be just too small, so I'm gonna skip it. The Space Ranger badge, it's easy, I just cut it out. For the space logo, I used a round triangle, typed in SR, duplicated a triangle, made it smaller, cut the top to make it sharp, found a bus logo online, scaled it down and cut it out. Perfect. I mean, you get the idea. You can do the rest yourself. So I came back fully expecting to move on to the next color. Then I realized I'm not done with the greens. I'm also not done with the purples. Great! Well, you don't need to see the rest, the dark grey and the blacks. Let's just jump straight to the decals. It has been a while since I've applied one of these. The last time should be for Jessie, but the mistake I made was to apply too much water. As you can see, it's still glistening on the right side, so a part of it tore when I was sliding it off. It's fine.
Nope.
The Lightyear name tag was a tricky one because I didn't expect it to be translucent, and the yellow kind of darkened when applied on a green background. Good thing I printed two. I simply glued it on with a glue stick that I used for arts and crafts in elementary school. So those lessons are pretty useful. Okay, I know the trick. It is to apply just a little bit of water with a cotton bud, just enough for it to separate from its backing, position it well, and set it with the softener. That's it. Let's do the rest. The shoulders, the tactical below the buttons, the freaking tiny arrows on the collar, and my OCD returned. I had to redo the logo because the mistake is in my face. I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. But now that we have mastered the application, this should be easy. Oh my god, I thought we were done with the suit, but I missed it. The blacks for the knees. Our head is ready to be painted. I love the new hair. It definitely has a more layered feel to it. Here's a comparison. Well, as with any head painting, the steps are more or less the same. Just watch my 1/6 scale videos for explanations. Some beige, brown for hair, Tamiya Ultra Thin Brush for details, our new eyebrows, whites for eyes. So after painting so many heads already, I'm pretty sure with how the bottom eyelids are sculpted, his eyeballs should not be in the center. He should have his eyes higher up, looking forward with his chin down. And that is what I'm going to do. Some blues, some black, and a little white dot for that animated look. Some red for the lips, and we can finish it off with some UV resin to make it come to life. And to make the suit come to life, I wanna add some metallic silver to dry brush on the edges, and that should make it more realistic. And we are done. Look, it took so much longer than expected to get this done. Repainting is one word, but it entails so much more steps than expected. That's why the back is completely untouched. I don't give a shit anymore. I just want to look at the front, which looks great, right? The hair looks so much more natural, the brows as well. I think his eyes look much better. The suit looks nice, although not 100% accurate, but with all the obvious missing details filled in, it at least looks more complete. Watch my other customs here, stay tuned to my channel, and I will see you next time.